Welcome to the County Conversations Podcast, brought to you by the Florida Association of Counties Institute for County Government with support from the University of Florida's IFAS. In this podcast, we dive deep into the diverse and dynamic world of Florida's counties with engaging interviews and thought-provoking conversations surrounding the challenges as well as successes of Florida's counties. Each episode brings you first-hand perspectives from county commissioners, government officials, community leaders, and subject matter experts who are shaping the future of our state. We explore a wide range of topics from economic development and public safety to environmental conservation and emerging technologies. Our aim here is to provide a platform for knowledge sharing, collaboration, and inspiration for county officials and residents alike. Whether you're a county commissioner, government professional, or simply interested in understanding the local government landscape, we hope this podcast provides valuable insights and practical takeaways on all things counties.
Part of the process, but not a part of the plans. Man, oh man, we're so excited. Hey, guys, before we get all into the details, we're going to go to a quick commercial break. We got to pay some of these bills, and we can come right back and get right down into it. Play the music.
Man.
Wow.
Do we even need to do our podcast?
I think we just did. Did you get that down?
I did. I got 20 seconds of it.
Oh.
Did you really?
I did get 20 seconds.
That might be in our outtakes edition of this. So this is actually our first recording for this podcast.
Well, let me tell you something. What you don't know is I actually have a degree in journalism from Florida A&M University, and I studied public relations. And I am the only senator that does our own video updates. When we're in session, we do weekly, but now we do it bi-weekly, sometimes tri-weekly. But we do a legislative update on YouTube. We call it the Powell Press. You can find those at www.youtube.com/Powell Press, whatever. And we've got nearly 90 videos at this point. 90 videos. So when people say they don't know who Bobby Powell is, it's because they haven't really looked.
And I mean, the media is just a great way to connect with your constituents and
Absolutely.
add on to Twitter, Facebook, Instagram.
It gives people real live perspective of who you really are, right? It gives them an opportunity to kind of get down into the details of what a senator does and just also normalize you. Relatability. It allows people to relate.
There's always something special about hearing the voice.
It
So and seeing the face. Yeah.
It is. It helps to tell the story and puts the story in perspective.
But yes, I guess we're kind of in the middle of it already. But I'm going to just back up.
Formally start?
I'm going to just do one of those. We can always edit and
let's
mishmash.
formally start. We can formally start. That was all pre-roll.
It was great.
Pre-roll.
Loved
B-roll.
it. and yeah, we're in Studio 67. We've got two studios. This is 67B. And it's really a partnership that our Institute for County Government does, which is our education arm for FAC that does our county commissioner training, and it's in partnership with UF IFAS. We do commissioner training down there in Gainesville. Eric Poole, who was with our institute, but on today we're
And also our resident planner
in-house. But today, on this episode of Between Two Chambers, we have with us Senator Bobby Powell from Palm Beach County. Senator, again, welcome to Studio 67 here in Tallahassee.
I'm excited to be here with you all at Studio 67. Really excited and ready to get down into the details of what we do.
Well, great, Senator. We're going to start out. We're going to ask you a number of questions. They're all designed to let us get to know you and let our commissioners get to know you a bit more. So we'll start out and ask some questions about you. First one, we know the Senate is not designed to be a full-time job. So what's your day job?
I'm glad you asked that question in a manner that you said not designed to be a full-time job, because we spend a lot of time working on legislative issues, and then what we call, I call it the three-prong approach: the out-of-office experiences, the legislative position, and then the appropriations. So during the daytime, I am the only AICP certified urban planner in the legislature. I work for a firm called Urban Design Studio, where we work on and specialize in government approvals and get people through the entitlement process. We also do a lot of landscape architecture. I am a planner by trade, so I really work on the entitlement process in terms of projects that we're moving through Palm Beach County or different areas of the county.
Great. And I think you were you at the FSU DERP program?
I was. I'm a DERP.
You're a DERP
graduate, 2006, Master's in Urban and Regional Planning. I'm an MSP in planning with a specialization in housing and community development. I came out of school and went directly into land use planning, but that is where I was I cut my teeth in planning, was here at Florida State University with my master's in urban and regional planning. Now, I also have a bachelor's degree in journalism, public relations from Florida A&M University, and also spent a little bit of time while I was here in Tallahassee substitute teaching, working in the electronics department at a box store in this area, and also working for the Tallahassee Police Department as a dispatcher.
Oh, that's a lot of experience. For someone like me who doesn't know, DERP, that stands for?
Department of Urban and Regional Planning.
And we have a current FAC employee who's starting that program, Amir Warren, one of our policy analysts, and I know Eric Poole, who's our institute director, was a past graduate in a former life of, so we've got a few folks who have gone through that program. We do a little bit with Dennis Smith over there at the FSU's program, so I know we talk to those folks a lot on issues impacting our counties, of course.
Good. Well, things have changed since I left FSU many, many years ago. Tim Chapin was a professor inside of the School of Urban and Regional Planning. Now he's actually, I believe, the Dean of Social Sciences at the university. So I've seen some things change in the few years since I've left, and it really feels like I just left FSU with my master's in planning. But if you look at it, it's been over 14 years now.
So that was pre-legislative Senator Powell and Representative Powell then too.
Correct.
Right.
Because I started legislature in 2012. So, I was fresh out of college. I graduated my first degree in 2003, and I graduated my planning degree in 2006. So that was a very, very young but ambitious young man who was looking forward to making the world a better place. And that's why I went into urban and regional planning.
What made you put yourself out there for public office?
Well, you said put myself out there. I would say it was necessary to stand in the gap for people who needed to be representation. What I find in this world is that when it comes to serving people, sometimes it can be a lot of people in public positions who are self-serving. And I think leadership should be three things. Number one, it should be transparent. Number two, it should be empathetic, meaning understanding what people are going through. And I also believe that leadership should be visible. And sometimes you don't find that in elected officials. So I worked for former state representative Mac Bernard, who at the time had run for state rep after being a Delray Beach city commissioner. And I was one of the legislative aides for him. Very unique position that put me in. Lined up to learn a lot about the process in Tallahassee, dealing with lobbyists, dealing with stakeholders, dealing with the budget, dealing with policy. And I was at the time, he decided to run for Senate. I was the most qualified individual who could then run for state representative to replace him. Now, did other people run? Absolutely. Because I believe that a government of the people, for the people, and by the people should have people seeking office, and there should be options. I would never discourage anyone from running, especially if they're going to run against me. Why? Because I believe that I have stretched myself and continue to stretch myself to be the best that I can be. And by being the best that I can be, I believe many times that is the best option for the residents and the constituents who we serve. They see that we put in the work, the capacity to stretch, the capacity to do what's right. And really to get into this motto that I have, a life of service is a life that counts.
Well, I like that one. Yeah. And So you've been in the Senate, you've been in the House. We kind of been talking a little bit, but where is your district in Florida? Which county do you represent?
I represent the beautiful Palm Beach County. We are east of my district is mainly south of PGA Boulevard in Palm Beach County, which is Palm Beach Gardens, down to Hypoluxo. And I catch all of the coastline. So I'm on the East Coast. And then I traverse somewhere between maybe the Turnpike and Jog Road in terms of a western border. So we get a lot of area. Previously, I represented the largest waft of land in Palm Beach County, everywhere from Tequesta to West Palm Beach. And we went further west, but now we've kind of brought that in a little bit more with the redistricting that we went through in 2022. Now, I represent Senate District number 24. Previously, I represented Senate District 30. So at this point, people have been used to me representing Senate District 30 for 6 years. So when I'm introduced at a lot of events, they still say, and he represents Senate District 30. And kindly, I will, when I get up, I don't correct anybody because that's rude, but I do say, it's good to be here with you all, and I'm glad to be a representative of Senate District 24. And that way they kind of catch it, right? And that's how you have to do. But Senate District 24 is really amazing. Palm Beach County is the best place to live, work, and play. We've got beautiful palm trees. We've got fountains. We've got the beach. We've got sunny weather. I'm going to sell it to you. I mean, probably the best place on earth. I've gone to, Caribbean vacations, which are nice, but, man, I basically left the tropical area to go to another tropical area. So it's really not, Bahamas is nice, Jamaica is nice, and all the Caribbean islands are nice, but there's really no major difference other than the fact that you're not in Florida.
What's your favorite, attraction or favorite thing in the district that people talk about?
Rapids.
I've not been to the Rapids in many years. My daughter thinks that it's her water park, by the way. She's never been there, but it's her water park. But there are a number of attractions in Palm Beach County. Right now, we're on a kick. We've gone to the Cox Science Center several times because I have a 5-year-old. And the exhibit that they're getting ready to update is the Titanic. Previously, they were doing the brain and robots. And then before that, they were doing dinosaurs. So right now, we're on this kick for the South Florida, the Cox Science Center, which we've gotten a lot of money in the budget to expand the Cox Science Center, and it's a wonderful place for children to go. They get a chance to see the aquarium, learn the different fish. The most important thing is, my daughter is 5. It went from her seeing one of the fish and calling it either Dory or Nemo to being able to go, no, Daddy, that's a clownfish, right?
Right.
So you get the chance to see them evolve. It's like I have a nephew that when now he's much older, but I remember I was reading to him one day and we opened up the book and there's a penguin. He goes, happy feet. And he evolved to being able to say, no, it's a penguin. So watching my daughter go from calling the fish, Nemo to a clownfish it's progress. And we also have plays. We have the Kravis Center. We have where me and my wife had seen Hamilton. And we have, there's so much. It's Palm Beach County. It's what you do.
You can find everything in Palm Beach County.
You can find everything in Palm Beach County.
And some of the best beaches in Florida, too.
Some of the best beaches in Florida.
I think
snorkeling.
Some other senators might think they might have the best beaches in their district, but Palm Beach's got great.
They don't know.
Senator, a little bit more about your district. What's the major industry there?
That's a real good question. So in my district, we've got agriculture. That's a major industry. It's one of the top 3 industries in the state of Florida. We have Florida Crystals, U.S. Sugar. We have a lot of farmers who are growing everything from lettuce to sugarcane to tomatoes. So agriculture is a major industry in my district, but I have a very large district. We are Palm Beach County. So construction's major in my district as well. We have the Port of Palm Beach, which does a lot of exports to the Caribbean islands. It's one of the 15 deep water ports here in the state of Florida. We also have in Palm Beach County, of course, government industry. The school district and the sheriff are major employers in the district. So in terms of our district, there are a number of major industries. There's no one industry that if it were to fail, our community would fail, unlike some of the counties that are here or some of the smaller counties. And I say here on the northern parts of Florida or the more rural areas, we've got a lot of drivers that continue to keep our economy strong in Palm Beach County. Everything from tourism to agriculture to construction. We have a lot of strong industries, and I think agriculture is probably one of the biggest.
If you were to call a friend who's never been to Florida, what would you use to describe what it means to enjoy Florida?
Why would I be calling them if they've never been to Florida? They're not my friend. No. What would I use to describe Florida? I would say, I know where you're at. It's probably cold. Sometimes there's overcast. And you may want to brighten up your life. You want to be happy. Come to Florida. We're the Sunshine State, where you can actually have an opportunity to be happy and find something to smile about, get some sun, vitamin D, get a lot of energy out here. There are so many different things and opportunities that increase when you come to Florida. It's a happier place to live. That's what I would tell a friend who was not in Florida. And I would say, why? Why are you not in Florida? Why are you not in Florida? Now, there are some reasons not to be in Florida, of course. Political climate can be one of those challenges that a lot of people are facing, but if you can get past that, it's the perfect place to be.
What are some ways county commissioners can best advocate for their community up here in Tallahassee?
See, this is why it's important to be a legislator, and then to also have that experience with the county commissioners. So currently, the county commissioner in Palm Beach County, or many of the county commissioners, I am very cordial with. The best ways that they can advocate for their community is, number one, in-person meetings with your legislator, right? Because we respect the fact that you've had to go through a daunting election and you're being constantly fed more information than many other people. So when you're a county commissioner, I understand that you're getting information that most people don't have. Henceforth, when you communicate with me, I believe mostly everything you say, give or take. And I'm going to work on my agenda to make sure work with my agenda to make sure that whatever you're pushing is top of the line. Then I would also say, after meeting with your state senator and state representative, definitely meet with the leadership here in the legislature, whether that be committee staff, committee chairs, or the Senate president or the Speaker of the House. That's important and necessary because now they know you exist. Those are the ways that I would, if I were a Palm Beach County commissioner, advocate. Also, in hand, in writing, right? Pass them what's necessary in writing. Reason being, a dull pencil is always better than a sharp mind. A lot of us think that we're sharp. Oh, I remember everything, except for the things you forget. But when you have a pencil and you write it down, and the pencil can be dull, but now you remember, oh yeah, that's right, I was supposed to do this or supposed to do that. There's nothing better than being able to reference something that you wrote down. A dull pencil is always better than a sharp mind.
Words to live by.
Yeah,
let me tell you something. I am a wealth of knowledge of things that, information and quick little things that will help you in life. What's the best advice I ever got? There's no such thing as the best advice you ever got. Because you consistently live and you consistently get amazing advice, and you can't parallel or put the advice, this is better than this. It's parallel. If you're running for office, what's good advice? Good advice, if you're ever going to run for office, is to remember, when you run for office, you find out who your true friends are and who your true friends aren't. Ooh, why is that deep? Because sometimes we as people get so emotionally attached to people who we thought supported us and people who we thought liked us. And when you find out you're running for office, they're like, oh, I'm not going to be a part of that. I'm backing off. They don't have the capacity to support you in the way that you need. So realize that they can't give you what you were looking for. That's not that they're a bad person. That's just that they're not for you, right? So when you're running for office, that's really, really good advice. What about life advice? Well, what's good life advice? Good life advice. As a young person, you live a fast life, you have a fast death. Whoa, what does that mean? Well, you go by and you start robbing people and stealing cars, or you're doing things that are the fast life. Fast death means you're either going to be dead or in jail. There's no other way. There's no other way unless you change your life, get saved, get delivered, and still that's no guarantee that's going to happen because it might be too late, right? Fast life leads to a fast death. So all these things kind of flow into the ether of good advice. What's other good advice? If at first you don't succeed, try again. Now that works for some people, but the reason you have to try again is because the first time you didn't succeed, the second time you need to be better. What I've seen is sometimes people keep trying again. There's no evolution in terms of the growth. If you're the same person 10 years later that you were, if you're the same person at 20, at 30 that you were at 20, there's no growth. What are you trying to do the same thing for? Because you haven't evolved into the person who should be there, right? So these are just a few facts that I picked up along the way to live by. And some people will argue that, you're right, and I'll figure that out. But it takes time. Life is something to be lived. It's a series of moments. You have to live them. Sometimes you're on the top of the hill. Sometimes you're in the valley. When you're in the valley, you have to realize, don't get so low and don't get so down that you're really ready to end it all, because as you go, you're going to climb back up that hill. And when you're on the hill, don't get so excited that you're on the hill, because the valley's still coming. You're either in a problem, on your way to the problem, or leaving a problem. Come on.
We appreciate your wisdom.
Oh, thank you, man. Diane can tell you, I've been waiting to give this to somebody all day. No.
We definitely hear you, man.
All right, we ready for the lightning round?
Yeah, the lightning round. So this is going to be quicker answers, and so we can get through a few of them. Some things about your favorite things in Florida.
Now, so what is your favorite Florida destination?
This is very, very good. Defuniak Springs, Florida.
Defuniak Springs. Like that.
I got my family there. My biggest family in Defuniak, the Campbells.
What's your favorite destination within your district?
I already told you it would be the Science Museum or the zoo.
All right. Your favorite Florida food dish?
Sweet potato pie. I don't know if that's a Florida food dish, but it is in my house, so.
That's your favorite.
It's right.
And it's in Florida.
State park or beach?
MacArthur State Park.
What would you say is a hidden gem in Florida?
The legislature. Me.
What's your favorite day at the Capitol during session?
It's a tie between FAMU Day and FSU Day. Different reasons. You can't compare them, but FAMU Day, it brings the flavor. FSU Day brings the overall bigness of the Capitol.
And then the last one on here, I think we know the answer. Who do you normally cheer for Thanksgiving weekend, Gators or Seminoles?
Well, it's the Seminoles because I am a Seminole, but I don't have a problem with the Gators. Like, I love the Gators too. I mean, it's like people ask me the question between the Rattlers and the Wildcats. I'm a Rattler, but I have no problem with the Wildcats.
And then if you hadn't a chance for last word, what would your last word be?
I would always tell people, a life of service is a life that counts. And remember to help somebody else. It ain't about you. It's not about you. It's about the impact that you have on the community. So help somebody. A life of service is indeed a life that counts.
One last question. What would be your favorite aspect of being a senator?
Man, my favorite aspect of being a senator is actually the representation piece, right? You can't be what you can't see. And a lot of times when I'm in my community and people see me, kids see me, adults see me, it's almost like, oh, there's the senator. And I do things to make sure that people feel included, inclusive, and that I'm reachable and attainable so that, if I can be a senator out of a small place called Riviera Beach, Florida, then anybody can be a senator. You just have to work hard, be dedicated, and stretch yourself. The true question is, for every one of us today, when you leave this podcast and when you leave this, Are you doing your best? The question is, if you are or if you aren't. And for most of us, we really are doing very well, but we can always do more. Are you stretching? Are you helping somebody to the best of your ability? Did you do the best that you can do? And if the answer is no, then always try to do more.
Perfect answer.
Thank you.
All right. And Senator Powell, thank you again for coming to Studio 67 and being with us today on the Between Two Chambers.
Our first guest has clearly set a high bar.
Gentlemen, I love the opportunity to speak with you all. We want to inspire people to be the next generation. And for Diane Andre, who's my chief of staff in the office, and myself, as well as Miss Michelle DeMarco and Malcolm Summons, we thank you for the opportunity to be here with you all today, and go help somebody.
All right.
Thank you, Senator.
Thank you, Senator.